Hello everyone, this is Bhuvneshwari. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Biomedical Engineering, Karpagam Academy of Higher Education, Coimbatore. I'm about to present a lecture series on diagnostic devices, comprising totally of 8 video lectures, each with a duration of about 10 to 15 minutes. In lecture 1, we are going to discuss about the introduction to the subject diagnostic devices and part 1 of portable diagnostic devices. In lecture 2, part 2 of portable diagnostic devices will be discussed. In lecture 3, part 1 of imaging devices will be seen. In lecture 4, part 2 of medical imaging devices will be discussed. In lecture 5, part 3 of medical imaging devices will be seen. In lecture 6, in vitro diagnostic devices part 1 will be discussed. In lecture 7, in vitro diagnostic devices part 2 will be discussed. Now let's get into introduction of diagnostic devices. Diagnostic technologies are used in healthcare in order to identify the nature and cause of a disease. Rapid and accurate diagnosis is critical for providing in most effective and potentially life-saving treatments in a timely manner. In developed regions, most of the diagnostic devices are carried out in the laboratories, that is centralized, that are well equipped with devices and other advanced techniques. However, the resources in the central laboratories are limited. Thus, there is an urgent need for fast, easy, and affordable diagnostic devices. Notably, the recent development in point of care diagnostics can provide in vitro diagnostics and immediately actionable healthcare information at the site of accidents. Also, POC tests can potentially allow the patients to self-test and self-managed cares at their homes. To know more about diagnostic devices, we should know enough about the term diagnosis. Medical diagnosis is a process of determining which disease or a condition explains a person's signs and symptoms. Medical diagnosis is often referred as diagnosis with the medical context being implicit. Diagnostic assessment is an intensive, clinical and functional face-to-face evaluation of a recipient's mental health, developmental disability and substance abuse condition on issuance of a diagnostic or assessment report on recommendation by physician. Diagnosis can be broadly categorized into clinical diagnosis and test assisted diagnosis. Now we'll look into medical test assisted diagnosis. A diagnostic test is any kind of medical test performed in order to aid the determination or diagnosis of a disease. Medical tests can be performed only with the help of medical devices or equipment. These devices are otherwise referred as medical diagnostic devices. There are different types of diagnostic devices. Number 1 is portable or in vivo diagnostic devices. Number 2, medical imaging devices or systems. Number 3 is in vitro diagnostic devices. Portable or in vivo diagnostic devices. Portable or in vivo diagnostic devices are devices that are used to identify the nature or cause of a certain phenomena, especially related to a medical condition, mainly based on non-invasive techniques or methods. Examples of these in vivo diagnostic devices are temperature sensors and pulse oximeters. Portable in vivo diagnostic devices have revolutionized the way in which people monitor and determine their own health and well-being. Next, we'll see what are medical imaging devices and systems. Medical imaging devices and systems give healthcare providers and researchers the information they need using high frequency sound waves like our ultrasonic sound and echocardiography, magnetic field like our magnetic resonance imaging and electromagnetic radiation like our conventional 2D X-ray, computer tomography, fluoroscopy, etc. Now let's see what are in vitro diagnostic devices. In vitro medical diagnostic devices include reagents, reagent products, calibration materials, control materials, kits, instruments, apparatus, systems that are intended for use in the examination of specimen taken from the human body like blood, urine, etc. To diagnose this is to monitor the patient's state of health or to monitor therapeutic procedures. Examples of these in vitro diagnostic devices are pregnancy tests, blood sugar monitoring tests, etc. Now let's see about 5 different devices under each category of these 3 types of diagnostic devices, that is portable or in vivo diagnostic devices, medical imaging devices and in vitro diagnostic devices. Now let's see portable in vivo diagnostic devices. Under portable or in vivo diagnostic devices, the devices which we are going to discuss about are stethoscope, sphygmomanometer, thermometer, pulse oximeter and electrocardiogram. Stethoscope to diagnose improper heart sounds, thermometer to measure the body temperature, sphygmomanometer to analyze the circulatory blood pressure, pulse oximeter to determine the oxygen saturation level and electrocardiogram to monitor the and working of heart. Among these devices, since thermometer and stethoscope are of simple concepts and easily understandable, I have categorized them under part 1. And these devices, electrocardiogram, sphygmomanometer and pulse oximeter, will be categorized under part 2 because of their complexity. Now let's discuss about stethoscope. The most familiar icon of a modern medical care is stethoscope. These stethoscopes are used to hear heart sounds inside the body, which can provide important information for the diagnosis of diseases. It is a surprising fact that each stethoscope comprises of 6 different parts, and they are the chest piece, the diaphragm, the stem that connects the disc to the tube, the acoustic tubes that transmit the sound, the earpiece and the ear tubes. There are 2 different types of stethoscopes: analog or ordinary stethoscope, digital or electronic stethoscope. Now let's see the working of an ordinary stethoscope. When the chest piece is held against the patient's body, the sound waves vibrate the tightly stretched diaphragm. The hollow tubes are thinner than the diaphragm and magnify the sound in a process called multiple reflection. Sound is transmitted through the hollow tube, bouncing all along the walls of the hollow tube to the earpiece. The earpiece themselves do not contain a diaphragm. Instead, the human eardrum acts as a diaphragm, vibrating to the changes in the pressure in the sound waves. By pressing the chest piece lightly on the body, the listener will be able to pick up low frequency sounds. By pressing the chest piece more tightly on the body, the listener will be able to pick up high frequency sounds. Some type of stethoscopes will have a small diaphragm on the other side of the large diaphragm of the stethoscope. These small diaphragms are used to auscultate or listen to the heart sounds on the children's body. Few other stethoscopes have a hollow bell on the opposite side of the large diaphragm. These hollow bells are used to auscultate or listen to the low frequency sound waves inside the body. Now let's look into few advanced electronic stethoscopes. The heart sound signals from a human body can be directly obtained from these electronic stethoscopes. The transducers that are used in electronic stethoscopes will be microphone, piezoelectric sensors, etc. The sound signals from the heart are converted to analog electrical signal for further signal processing and analysis. There are digital display, sound, mode as well as power button on the head of an electronic stethoscope for easy application. Now let's see about thermometers. An accurate measurement of a person's temperature is a vital tool in managing illness. There are different types of thermometer: clinical mercury filled thermometers and digital thermometers. Now let's see the working of a digital thermometer. Typically, the sensors used in any of the digital thermometer will be any of the following four sensors: solid state sensors, resistance temperature detectors, thermistors, thermocouples. In basic terms, the analog output of these sensors are different. A microchip is then used to convert this measurement into temperature reading. This reading is displayed on the digital display, providing value of the digital temperature. Although all of these digital thermometer sensors provide the same end result on the digital display of the thermometer, the way they work this out varies. In basic terms, the analog outcome of these sensors are different. However, these thermometers are not recommended for babies less than 3 months or babies who are having more earwax, and this is also not much recommended when there is an earache for a baby. Now let's see about few advanced non-contact thermometers. One such type is tympanic or ear thermometer. These tympanic or ear thermometers are used to find the temperature inside the ear by reading the infrared heat there. For older babies and children, these ear or tympanic thermometers are easy to be used. Next is temporal artery or forehead thermometer. Forehead thermometers are also used to measure body temperature, but they are not as reliable as digital thermometers and are highly expensive. These thermometers are much prominent during this COVID-19 pandemic. These thermometers are placed on the forehead and used to measure the temperature that comes off of the head. Now we have almost come to the end of the session. I hope you all understood the introduction to diagnostic devices and basic concepts of stethoscope and thermometer under part 1 of portable diagnostic devices. In the upcoming lecture, we are about to discuss about part 2 of portable in vivo diagnostic devices. Thank you.